Instagram. Hi, Facebook. So, I'm coming at you. We're starting a new series. So, obviously, it's the end of the day. We have spent all day in the pool again. So, I am coming at you with, pool hair and no makeup and all the good things. But, what I get is I get a lot of people asking me, where do I start homeschooling? So, and a lot of the times, the questions come in about this time of year for the simple fact that school is about to end or just ended, and people are looking into, okay, what am I going to do next year with my kids? So do me a favor, drop me a 1 if you're already a homeschooler. Drop me a 2 if you're thinking about homeschooling next year, because I do like to see who I have on here. Give me just a minute. I gotta enjoy this while it's hot. This is not coffee, by the way. It's tea. It's really good, like, berry green tea. I don't even know. It's very, very delicious. This is kind of my wind down time at the end of the night. If y'all didn't catch my nighttime, like, wind down video, go check it out. It goes through my nighttime routine and how I prep everything for the next day. My schedule's a little wonky right now because we are traveling. So, because we are in a hotel room, typically I do my lives and I come and do my trainings with you guys in the mornings. That's when I'm most alert. It's when I'm most awake. But because my husband is working second shift while we're here, it's pretty much impossible for me to do a live video at 9 o'clock in the morning when he is in the same hotel room sleeping. So, it's just easier to flip-flop my schedule a little bit. But having said that, I wanted to start this series. The series is literally called, okay, I've decided to homeschool, now what? So what I want to do is I want to walk you through, and I want to create a video series that will walk anyone through, start to finish, when you decide to homeschool, what are the things that you need to know, and how can you really get going in the most efficient way possible. I don't say quickest, because homeschooling is not easy. Like, congratulations, you've just decided to do one of the hardest things you can do as a mom, and you're now your kid's teacher as well. But it is incredibly rewarding. By the way, if y'all don't know me, my name's Tanya Johnson. I am the founder of Helping Hearts Homeschool, and I've been teaching in some capacity now for the last 15 plus years. So I have a lot of knowledge under my belt when it comes to teaching, and then I have been homeschooling my own daughter for about 3.5 years now. So it has been ups and downs of Christian schools, public schools, charter schools, and homeschools. I've kind of seen and done a lot of it, and I've learned from a lot of it, so I just want to kind of impart my knowledge with that. And of course, y'all know I got my notes because squirrel, okay? So, we're going to cover, not today, but in the series, just so you kind of know what we're going to talk about. Because what I do in Helping Hearts Homeschool is I just work with parents and grandparents all over the globe, helping them to basically learn how to homeschool their kids in an enjoyable fashion. Homeschooling is not rainbows and unicorns, guys. You that have been in the trenches, you already know that. However, it can be a very enjoyable process for both the student and the teacher. So what I want to cover this summer with y'all is some different curriculum options. We're going to cover the learning styles and the teaching styles, because that is something that's very important to know, again, to maximize the education going on in your home. We're going to go a little bit over like finances and budget. That's different for every single household, but homeschooling typically is not super cheap. We're going to go over some free resources. We're going to go over scheduling and just kind of everything to set you up for success with this. So what we're going to go over today is 4 things. And the title of this on purpose is Part 1, we're going to pray and stay out of jail. So the first and most important thing that I would suggest doing, like highly, is pray. You're going to pray consistently throughout your homeschool journey. I just told you homeschooling is one of the hardest things you can do as a mom. It's going to, I don't want to say uncover, maybe shine a spotlight on all of your character flaws, all those things that your kids do that drive you nuts is usually just a mirror of what you also do. It is going to test your patience. It's going to make you feel incredibly dumb at times. It's going to do all the things. So praying consistently, and then also you're going to make sure that you're praying for God's leading when it comes to picking a curriculum. You're going to pray when it comes to understanding. You're going to pray when it comes to wisdom on maybe things that you need to outsource. I already know probably when we get into the higher math and higher science, probably going to outsource. Now, higher English I can do. I like English. Probably the other two we're going to end up paying a tutor. Now, God may, let me be real smart before we get to those areas, but probably not. And you know what? I also like to pray. I like to pray for deals. I absolutely am not too proud to ask God to help me find good deals on curriculum. Y'all, homeschooling, I just told you, it's not cheap. I can't tell you how many times we get a book, because we do year-round homeschooling, so we don't start like every August we're starting a whole new set of books. So we order them when we need them, and obviously you think ahead and you plan and all that stuff. But I can't tell you how many times I need a new book and I go online and I'm like, $25 for that? Or $9 for basically a freaking pamphlet? And it's worth it. It's my child's education. I do not mind spending the money. But it's just, again, looking at it. How many of y'all have ever ordered something homeschool related and you're like, I paid what for that? And it's just kind of like, okay, it is what it is, but it's still not fun to see your money like going that fast. So number one is pray. Number two is you're going to gain some knowledge. You're purposely, and that's one thing that I want to help you with, you're purposely going to learn about some different curriculum. You're not just going to pick the first thing you see on the internet. You're not going to pick the first thing that your friend says, oh, you should buy this. You're going to learn about different curriculums, and more than that, you're going to learn about the learning style and the teaching style that they fit into. Because you want to pick the right curriculum for your child. And we'll go over kinesthetic and kinesthetic and visual and textbook and auditory. We'll go over the different learning styles and then also the different teaching styles and the different curriculums that kind of go into play with some of those. But at the end of the day, you may have more than one kid and they're different in learning styles. So again, you want to exercise a little bit of wisdom in there when you're picking a curriculum. You're not just going to pick the one that looks the easiest or the one that has the prettiest pictures. Now, another thing when it comes to, so we're going to cover that this summer, but if you're at the point where you're like, I already want to know that, go ahead and you can go to the link in my bio, and toward the bottom, it's going to have 3 videos. One on how to pick curriculum, one on learning styles, and one on teaching styles. Now, the reason I'm redoing them is because I made those quite a while ago. So, if I'm not a certified teacher, how do I create a curriculum? You're not, I'm not sure if you're asking, do you have to create a curriculum if you want to homeschool? Because the answer is no, you're going to buy curriculum. Or are you asking, like, are you allowed to create a curriculum? If you don't mind rephrasing your question, I'm not sure exactly what you're asking there. But having said all of that, go ahead, you can go watch those videos. The only reason I'm redoing them is because I'm better at making videos now. I'm more comfortable in front of the camera. I'm better at being a little bit more concise. I was a little bit wordy back when I made those videos. Still really good information in my opinion, but again, I'm just redoing them to make them better. So, another thing when it comes to knowledge is you want to have the knowledge to decide what kind of curriculum, or not what kind of curriculum, what kind of schedule you're going to follow. Are you going to school year-round, or are you going to follow a 9-month schedule? Now, listen, I'm going to be straight with you. If you hear year-round homeschooling and you're like, oh no, I don't ever want to do that, I need a curriculum in writing to submit to our coordinator. I don't honestly know. I wish I had more help to there. When it comes to your coordinator, are you talking about like is this a state law, something that you're doing? Because I'll be honest, I'm in Indiana. We don't have to submit anything to anybody. But I do know every state is different. So I'm assuming if you're talking about a state law, you need a curriculum in writing to submit. What they're asking is what curriculum you're going to use. So you need to decide what company, in other words, you're going to go with. And most states, I think, let you do eclectic, which is different subjects and different companies. So, like, for us, a lot of our books come from Evan Moore. The Evan Moore series, we really like those. However, math, we use a company called Matthew C. Phonics, we did Hooked on Phonics. We're finishing that up, and then for 3rd grade, we'll be switching to a different reading program. Handwriting, I just got a book off Amazon that I knew she would like, because handwriting is not that hard. It's copy work. Bible we do through our church, because they have a really good Bible program, so we just use that as mainly our curriculum. I'm trying to think. Math, English, spelling. I think spelling might have been Evan Moore. No, spelling, and we have like a test prep subject. I don't remember what company we use for those. But all that to say, I think what they're asking, DHerna971, I'm sorry, I don't know what your actual name is. I think what they're asking you to submit is what books, what companies you're using for each subject. Whether you're using one for all of them or you're using different ones for different ones. I don't think they're asking you to like write their curriculum. And so no, the answer to that is no, you would not need to be a certified teacher unless your state requires you to be a certified teacher in order to homeschool, because some states do require that. Still looking forward to your summer class. Thank you. Diana. Okay, I thought it was probably Diana, but I was not 100%. Now, for everyone, when it comes to picking curriculum, summer school, all that stuff, like I said, I'm doing this series. This is going to be a very basic series on how to start homeschooling. Something I'm super excited about. But if you go to my page right now, there's actually a Homeschool Summit that starts in June. There's going to be over 50 speakers. I'm one of them. And we're going to be covering everything from scheduling, from making your homeschool fun in the summer, from one of the sessions I'm teaching is how to homeschool year-round with a blended family. Blended meaning public school and homeschool under the same roof. Public or Christian, but like school kids. And then there's also a bunch of sessions that are just for moms. So it doesn't have to be homeschool. Now, obviously, it is a homeschool summit. There's going to be a lot of homeschool material. But you can decide what sessions you want to go to and what you don't. It's a completely free summit. You get a free ticket just by clicking the link that I put up on my page. So I'd highly recommend going and checking that out. There's going to be a lot of free resources given during the summit. And just things that you'll want to keep on, or keep track of over the next year or so and use in your homeschool, whether or not you decide to do year round. So, number 3, let me make sure I got all this. Yeah. So, number 3 is going to be acknowledging your character flaws. So, these are things that you're probably a little fearful about when it comes into homeschooling. And guys, by the way, we are all fearful of certain things when we start homeschooling. I was fearful because I knew that I was not that great at time management yet. I was getting better, but I was not great. I was already working from home when I decided to start homeschooling. So that was a whole thing in itself. I was already working full-time hours from my living room around a toddler. So now I'm throwing school into the mix, plus we were already running a ministry, and I just did not have the confidence in the confidence in my time management abilities. And the reason I really like summits like this, I attend 2 or 3 homeschool summits every single year, and I watch every single session because you never know what you're going to learn from somebody. So I highly recommend getting to this summit. Again, it's virtual. It's not like you have to go anywhere. Put your earbuds in, listen to sessions while you're cleaning or cooking or whatever. There's over 50 speakers, so someone is going to have the same fear that you have, or they're going to have had it, because obviously most of the people that are speaking are going to be seasoned homeschool moms. They're going to have had the same fear, and they're going to be able to walk you through how they overcame it and how you can also overcome it. So, one reason I like the summits like that. Maybe you're fearful because you are unorganized. Y'all, that's a real thing. I'll tell you what, when I got a little bit more organized, our homeschool was a lot easier. And I'll be honest, that's probably one of my biggest ones still. I'm not very organized. People that see me online, you guys probably think that I'm very organized. But y'all can see my desk back there, the one that, we're in the hotel right now. So, I mean, kind of speaks for itself. Not very organized. The other thing was time management. Like I said, I already covered that. Maybe you're not confident in your ability to teach. Maybe you're going to need to take some free courses somewhere on how to teach. And again, curriculums will help with that. There are plenty of curriculums that have a lot of instructions to them. Kind of takes the guesswork out of how to teach this. But I'll be honest with you, I struggled a lot with teaching my daughter how to read. So just a little backstory. I went to college. I have a teaching degree. But my teaching degree is in secondary education, and I have fields in music and business. Let me tell you how knowing advanced music theory did not help me teach my kids CVC words. Did not equate at all. It was a lot of trial and error. I asked several seasoned moms, or seasoned homeschool moms, hey, give me some tips because I'm kind of lost. And I will be honest, Hooked on Phonics is really, if your kid struggles with reading, I highly recommend getting that program. A little bit pricey, but it's worth it. It takes all the tears out of reading. And that's kind of what did it for me. But there's going to be something that you are not great at teaching at, and just know that that's okay. You will get better at it, and you'll fail forward with your child until you guys have it. And then number 4, and this is the last one, is know the law of your state. Or your country actually, but we kind of just talked about this one with Diana when she was asking about if she'd be a certified teacher, and her coordinator needed a curriculum in writing. If you go to my website, helpingheartshomeschool.com, y'all, I told you I don't normally do these kind of videos at night because this is not when my brain's awake. So helpingheartshomeschool.com, and you're going to click on menu and then education library, and then you're going to click on, I wrote it down, start homeschooling now. And there's going to be 3 separate links for you. One of them goes through all the homeschooling laws of every single state. So you click the link, type in your state, and you can see all the laws in your state. Another one is all the laws in the country. So whatever country you're homeschooling from, all the resources are there for you. And then the third one, I should remember, the third one goes through laws, something specific with each state, but it's a specific law. But anyways, go check them out. I would highly recommend, you guys, like I said, pray and stay out of jail. That's literally topic 1 in a nutshell. You want to make sure that you understand the laws of your, I'm just going to say state. Most people on here are from the states. You want to understand the law of your state. You don't want to get into a bind 3 years down the road, find that you're supposed to be keeping some kind of record that you weren't keeping, and then be in trouble with child welfare or whatever. Just, it's easier to go check the laws out, comply with them, and do it that way. Now, I'm going to leave you with just a warning, because there are things called umbrella schools or charter schools that will fund your homeschool. They'll either give you money for curriculum, or they will completely give you the curriculum. However, that is not homeschooling. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying legally you are under a whole different category. You are not a homeschooler at that point. And again, just a word of caution, anytime you're taking money from the government, you're going to be under their regulations. So if you're wanting to homeschool and be out on your own and not be under like the government regulations when it comes to your child and what they're expecting your child or making your child to do, you're going to have to fund it yourself with your own money. I know it sucks. I know it's not fair. We all pay taxes for the public school system, but that's just the reality of it. So, again, I'm not saying that you can't do it. I'm saying be mindful. If you're going to go that route, make sure you read all the fine print and you know exactly what your end of the bargain is, what you have to uphold in exchange for taking their money. Because I've had many moms come to me mid-year in tears because they're having to take their kids in to get certain testing or whatever that they didn't know they were going to have to do and didn't want to do, but because they took money from an umbrella school or one of these charter schools, they legally were obligated to follow by that school's guidelines and by whatever the government was telling them to do. You take the money, usually strings are attached with it. Now, that's not to say there are not some private schools that will offer like certain classes, or you can enroll in a sports program or something. I'm not saying that, but just be mindful and know what you're getting into before you get excited and sign on the dotted line just because someone's going to give you a check. So that is it for part 1. Tune in either tomorrow or the next day for part 2. Y'all know I'm pretty lax around here. Again, we're not on vacation, but we're traveling right now. So a little bit more lax than normal. But I hope this helped, and I will see y'all in my next video.